from the Oak Wall Studios in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Hello, this is Jesse Oakley III, and welcome to the Oak Zone Sunday Morning Chat Series. Here I interview a plethora of positive people that are making a big difference in the community. And today, we got ourselves one fantastic episode. As many of you happy people know, I belong to a wonderful organization called Toastmasters International. And you see me interview past Toastmasters about their journey, about where they've been, and they also share some words of wisdom for you, the happy people. Today, I have myself a fantastic Toastmaster that I look forward to interview, and I am very excited. Now, when it comes to leadership, we have different types of leaderships that are available, whether it is in club leadership, area leadership, division leadership, district leadership, and even international leadership. And right now, I have with me a district director from District 50, which is, I believe, East Texas. Am I correct?
Yep.
All right. And without any further delay, please let me welcome the District 50 Director for Toastmasters International, distinguished Toastmaster, DaWane Wanek. Hey, DaWane, how's it going?
Hey, Jesse. Thanks for inviting me onto your show.
All right. Thank you for being on the show. We really appreciate that big time. And I'm sure the happy people appreciate it as well. And without further delay, let's chat.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Now, for all the happy people that don't know what Toastmasters is, could you give me your definition of what Toastmasters International is all about?
Well, I can, Jesse. That's actually a pretty good question. Toastmasters was founded, almost 100 years ago, and it was founded to help people improve their public speaking skills. It also is focused on helping folks grow their leadership skills. So those are the two primary reasons that most people join Toastmasters.
All right, fantastic. Now, could you tell all the happy people about the start and the beginnings of your Toastmaster journey? How did it get started?
Well, it was not for either of those two reasons. It was because of a girl.
Ah.
Yeah. And the conversation went something like this. I had just first started dating this person, and she called me up and said, "Hey, what are you doing on Saturday?" And I don't know about you, but that's a pivotal moment early in a relationship with another human being. My instinctive response was, "Well, I don't know. What am I doing Saturday?" She goes, "Well, I'm going to be competing in a Toastmasters humorous speech contest. You want to come?" Second pivotal moment early in a relationship. I think there's only one answer, and it was yes. And so I went and I watched some really happy people, really funny people give their speeches. And I sat there and my ego and my inside voice said, "Oh, I can do that." And then I got a chill up my spine.
Ooh.
And I'm thinking, wow, I'm not sure if I can. And then that led to, well, I guess the only way I'll know is to find out is to actually go to a meeting. So I followed her to her corporate club that became my first home club, because after that first meeting, I was all in.
All right, fantastic. And I tell you what, right now you are a district director for the East Texas Toastmasters community. And it always goes to show you that sometimes a girl or a guy can be involved when it comes to joining Toastmasters.
Absolutely.
It is very beautiful. And from a guy who married a Toastmaster, I can totally understand.
Yes. Well, that's when I tell that story, people go, "Well, you buried the lead. What happened to the girl?" And ultimately I ended up marrying her as well. So
all right. And much love to Kelly. Hello, Kelly. All right. Now, the next question I have for you is, we go through different challenges within Toastmasters. Now, what were some of the challenges that you faced when it comes to being a part of this organization?
I think early on, it was more about the fact that once I got it and once I went to that first meeting and kind of went all in, I just wanted to give speeches. You know, I mapped my journey and the things that I knew I wanted to do. In fact, back in the old days, you know, we had the manuals, and I went out and I bought all the speech manuals and I mapped my journey to DTM. And within a month, some lady showed up and said she was our pathways guide. And her opening line was, "Get rid of your manuals, you're going online." So it was early in my Toastmasters career where I realized, okay, well, I set my own expectations, but be ready to turn on a dime when you need to, because things will continue to change and evolve. And as far as getting into it, because we had both programs in the early days, I actually decided to run them both in parallel. I had already gotten fairly far in the legacy program and really wasn't going to embrace pathways, but I realized I couldn't mentor new people if I didn't go figure it out. So the working both the legacy and pathways in the very beginning of my Toastmasters career culminated in dual DTMs of my first two DTMs, one in legacy and one in pathways.
Man, and that is why I personally call you a super Toastmaster. If you're able to do that, then you are a super Toastmaster in my book.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I just give a lot of speeches.
All right. And giving speeches is always good.
Yep.
Now, what were some of the best moments that you experienced within Toastmasters?
Outside of marrying my girlfriend, who was a Toastmaster, I would say just getting to meet a lot of people. You know, you and I both competed against each other, and I was voluntold in my first contest experience, and I so loved it because one of the things that I did enjoy, especially early on, was getting out of my comfort zone. Yeah. So I needed to try more and more things that would do that for me. And the competition stage was very much out of my comfort zone and very fulfilling to me. And 2 years ago, so in 2020, Kelly and I both competed in humorous, and I consciously chose a club in a different division than she was going to be competing in, but this sort of fantasy that maybe one day we could compete head to head for the district championship. We did do that. I can honestly tell you, I hadn't really thought that through. It seemed like a pretty good idea at the time. My advice to anyone watching your program today is really think that through if you decide to take that on as your journey as well.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? And I know I've been married to my wife for about a good 9 years. And out of all the times we went out, we never competed against each other. And who knows, it might be a first, but if that happens, hey, remember, Dana, honey, I love you. Nothing personal.
Good luck with that strategy, Jesse.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh, man. Now, there's somebody out there that just found out what Toastmasters is all about, and they are somewhat on the fence on joining this wonderful organization. If you can talk to that person about joining this organization, what would you tell that person?
That's a fantastic question. The first thing I would tell that person is don't worry about joining the organization. Just come visit a club. You know, come be a guest and see what it's all about. You know, I love when we have guests in our clubs and we always ask in the beginning, you know, why are they there and what are they looking for? And then we ask them at the end what they thought of it. And 99% of the time, the question at the end of the meeting gets answered by, I had no idea that it was going to be this fun.
Yes.
You know, they come to a Toastmasters meeting, think it's a classroom setting and some professor is going to impart their wisdom. No, it doesn't work that way. It's like the ultimate crowdsourcing for personal improvement. We teach each other, we learn from each other, we get better day after day. And it's just, I'm inspired every time I see someone new come into the organization and then just watch them blossom before your eyes.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. And where can people go to know more about Toastmasters?
Well, Toastmasters.org would be the first place I would go. Depending on where you live, each geography has a district, which you alluded to earlier on, and the districts have websites, so they'll have more localized content.
All right. And for the people that missed that, do not fret because the link will be in the description below. And not only the website for Toastmasters International, but also the website for District 50 Toastmasters. For anyone in East Texas watching, the link will also be in the description below for that district as well.
Shameless plug brought to you by District 50 Toastmasters.
Exactly, exactly. Now, this time flies when you have a whole lot of fun. And I tell you what, I'm having a great amount of fun interviewing you, DaWane. We're at the point, we're at our shout out portion of our meeting. If you can give a shout out to anybody out there or any group of people out there for making your Toastmaster journey possible, who would you give a shout out to?
Well, so I'm smart enough not to single out a single person, because if I do that, other than my wife, because, you know, she's the one that kind of got me into this in the first place, for me, it all goes back to the beginning when we were all in District 33 together before the Reformation, and all of the people like you that I met. And one thing that was so consistent was every single person I met was so warm and welcoming. You know, I visited a lot of clubs. I held district level roles and had a chance to visit a ton of clubs and meet a lot of different people. And I can't think of one example of a situation where people weren't just embrace you with open arms and were really happy for you to be there. When I made the move to Texas and into District 50, it was the same response that I got. In fact, I had attended the District 50 conference before I'd moved to Texas because I was president of a club over here.
Right.
They didn't know me. And I walked in and I got my badge and, you know, started meeting people. And once they realized I was, quote, a visitor, if you will, it was just great to see how they just kind of rallied around the new guy. And then when I moved, I felt like I was moving from one home to another.
Right. Truly fantastic. Truly fantastic. Now, the last question I have for you is addressed to my people, my crew, which is called the Happy People. And they're always amazed and inspired when I ask this question for other people along the way. If you could give any more solid words of wisdom to my people, the Happy People, what solid words of wisdom would you like to give?
I'm going to assume your happy people, your people, are a mix of Toastmasters and non-Toastmasters. So I'll make the statement to that broader audience. It was a strategy that I took early on when I joined Toastmasters, where I decided that because I was going to go all in, I would just say yes to whatever I was asked to do. Didn't matter. Just say yes and go figure it out.
Yep.
It created a number of very out of my comfort zone moments. But it was just a strategy that really played out well for me because I didn't know what I didn't know. And for the most part, people didn't ask me to do things that I wasn't capable of figuring out or accomplishing on some level. So I had an opportunity to do a lot of different things because I took that strategy. So in life, if people ask you to do things, if it's even remotely in your capacity, just say yes. We'll all figure it out together and become better people because of it.
All right. And what a perfect way to end this wonderful interview. And on behalf of all the happy people that are watching all over the world, I thank you, DaWane, for a chance to an opportunity to be a part of the Oak Zone Sunday Morning Chat Series.
Absolute privilege. Thanks so much for inviting me, Jesse.
All right. And this concludes this episode of the Sunday Morning Chat Series. If you want plethora of positivity, go to YouTube, type my name, Jesse Oakley III, and you'll get a chance to see lots of interviews on the Sunday Morning Chat Series where I get to interview a plethora of positive people that are making a big difference in the community, like my friend, DaWane. And this concludes this episode of the Oak Zone Sunday Morning Chat Series. Until next time, happy people, you take care and have a great day. Bye.
Bye.